Welcome to a brand new episode. It is MMA Complex. My name is Josh.
And I'm James.
And it is January 16th. It is a Wednesday, rainy freaking night. Obviously, you could tell we're in these, like, I'm wearing, like, the thickest jacket I have. James is looking good. But it's crazy out there, right?
Oh my God. Yeah, I think we did went from your house to the studio, which
Yes.
is less than 30-second walk, and I got so drenched. My whole leg is like drenched from all the way to my knee. It's crazy.
It's pouring out there. I mean, every time it rains, you always say we need it, and I think we do. But this is probably the heaviest rain of the season.
Yeah, for sure.
The heaviest night. It's just crazy. I think we still have the rest of the week to go. But yeah, let's get right to it, man. We've got another week. We got that UFC, the ESPN Plus app down now.
Yeah, I'm so happy.
It's I've been hearing about how they're scheduling it. It's obviously on the app, and if you watch it on like a Roku or anything like that, it's very easy to go back and forth. But they have like they have the early prelims on ESPN Plus, and then they have the televised version, and then you have to go back to ESPN Plus for the main card. So it's kind of like all over the place.
Yeah, hopefully that changes.
Yeah, hopefully they get that figured out. I think it would probably have been better just to put it all on one platform.
Yeah, I agree.
Or split it up how like Fox did it, where they had the prelims on ESPN and then the main card on ESPN Plus.
Or just do like you can do the prelims still on ESPN, but it could also show it on both the whole card on ESPN Plus.
Yeah,
prelims and main card, and just have the prelims on ESPN.
Yeah, exactly.
Too.
That's true. They could do that.
You can either navigate it on phone or you can just see the whole thing on the app.
And you just have to go back and forth. So I don't know. Hopefully they got that figured out. Is this the best start? Who knows? Is it the best card? For the most part, it's a decent card. You got some good matchups top to bottom. Main card's decent. It's not the greatest. But
I mean, for being the premier event for the ESPN,
it's a great title fight. Great main fight.
Sure. The main event is a pay-per-view worthy fight.
Definitely.
I think some fights can be switched around like you were talking earlier, but they're going to been more heavy on the card. But I mean, especially since 234, 233 got canceled, they had a lot of those fighters that aren't fighting could have fought on this card.
They could have fought on this card. They could have. You have a lot of good fights on here. Cerrone and Alexander Hernandez and Joanne Calderwood and Ariane Lipski are like main event and co-main event of the prelim card.
I think it should have
those could have been in the main card. I thought those two.
What would have been awesome was having that main event attack TJ and Henry Cejudo, and then have Kane and Francis Ngannou be the co-headliner.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, but even like if they would have kept this card the way it was, some of the undercard here, like at least 2 or 3 of the fights could have been on the main card, and you could have probably had like Benavidez and Dustin Ortiz as like the main event for the prelims or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, just switched a couple of these around. Yancy Medeiros and Grigor Gillespie could have probably been on the prelim card as a co-main event. You could have switched some of these around. I think I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I think it'll still probably be a good card. But we'll break down the card in a little bit. But yeah, let's get right into it. Obviously, the UFC Brooklyn is this weekend. Henry Cejudo facing TJ Dillashaw for the flyweight title. Now, obviously, it's do or die for for Cejudo's division. Or should I ask, do you think it's do or die for the division? Will Cejudo, if he were to win, retain his title, or will he end up having to go up and weigh? Would the flyweight title still be around after this fight, win or lose?
I think win or lose. I think the UFC had it in mind that they're going to get rid of that division, whether it be this year or next year. It's going to happen. I think Henry Cejudo talked about it many times that he wants to go up in weight. Yeah. And I think he's a big 125 pounder, and he's always talked about going to 135 anyway. So I think this fight is just if Henry Cejudo becomes victorious in this fight, I think it just extends the life of 125. But I think the end game is for how that to have that division be done with.
The weight cut's not easy for him. You know,
No, he's a big boy.
yeah, it kills him. You know, it's a really it's a tough weight cut. If he wins, obviously, I think it betters the chances. UFC hasn't officially come out saying that they're getting rid of the division, but all the rumors and all the signs are pointing towards it. Uh, could they get rid of it? I don't know. Would they end up? I think they'll end up losing a lot of fighters and forcing a lot of fighters to fight up, and eventually they'll probably move on to a ONE FC or a Bellator maybe that has a division for them. Yeah, I think I say if he wins, it stays around. If he loses, I still think there's a good chance they keep it. I don't think they're really dead set on getting rid of it completely. I think that everybody's worried that they are, and I think they have reason to worry. Um, but I think there's a good chance they could keep it. Oh, by the way, we're drinking. You could tell them what we're drinking.
Oh yeah, so yeah, Metallica released. They hooked up with Stone Brewery and Arrogant Bastard to come over with the Internight, the official Metallica beer. Collaborated with Metallica. Uh, they've been
Really
having
good.
this beer. It's a Pilsner, but it tastes like an IPA. It's a very light IPA, very very drinkable, delicious.
Really good.
They were selling it throughout the North American tour. I think this week or today they released it worldwide. So after work, I went over to Bevmo and picked up a 6 pack. Pretty cool looking cans. Has the Metallica logo, obviously, and it
Yeah.
has these speakers at the end with the Metallica logo, like playing the Metallica songs. It's cool.
It's cool.
Cool can.
Yeah, yeah. Um, it's a really good beer. Obviously, if you guys don't know, James is a huge Metallica fan,
Yeah.
and has been waiting for this to come out. Yeah, I still haven't gotten a hold of the whiskey yet, huh?
No, not yet.
Not yet. But yeah, no, it's really good. So that's our drink of choice for tonight. But yeah, I think I say they kind of keep it around. I think there's a good chance they'll probably keep it. They'll probably just thin it out.
Mm.
Cut some fat off of it.
It's almost like
Build it
the
back up.
women's featherweight division in a way.
Yeah, I mean, look at the featherweight division. I mean, they have a division, but there's really nobody there. They only have like one or two fighters that are actually 145ers.
Yeah, I think if there's a division that needs to be eliminated, it's that one.
Yeah,
'Cause I think the 125 division, they have fighters there, not well known fighters, but there's fighters there.
there's fighters there.
At featherweight, there's nobody. There's
There's,
only Megan Anderson and
yeah.
and Cyborg. That's
To me,
it.
it makes no sense to keep the women's division around the featherweight division or right.
Yeah,
Right.
it's pretty much the bantamweights want to go up and fight for a
Yeah,
title.
it makes no sense. I say, and that goes into our next topic too. Before we get into the back into Brooklyn, um, does Cyborg sign? She's a free agent. Does she sign? Do they keep her division? Obviously, both. I think we'll find out sometime this year the fate of both divisions. But does she stay around?
Man,
I think we talked about this before,
I
but
think
it's now that
the game's changed a lot since
now that she lost, especially she lost. Does she resign?
I
Does she
think
have reason to resign?
I think before the Nunes fight, I still had my doubts whether or not wanted to sign. But after losing to Amanda Nunes, I think that was. I think the UFC was kind of happy in a way that she lost. Um, I don't see Cyborg resigning. I see Cyborg going to her old promoter in Scott Coker.
Mm-hmm.
I think where Bellator is at is a great place for Cyborg. I mean, they're a California-based promotion. She can make a lot more money there and still have kind of the exposure. I think she's a name, so I think anywhere she fights, people are going to follow her and watch her fight. I think she did her thing in the UFC, and it ended on a sour note. But I think she can reinvent herself in Bellator and become that star again.
Yeah, I don't know how competitive she is in terms of wanting that rematch back. Obviously, Amanda Nunes is not so keen on giving her a rematch
Yeah,
right away. So that even I think that it plays into more of the fact that into her mind, into Cyborg's mind, that maybe I just don't resign because there's nobody in that division. I barely even have a division. Yeah, I lost my title. The champ doesn't really. want to give me a rematch right away. What am I gonna do in between that time?
Yeah, and one of the things that Cyborg was complaining about before the Menendez fight was that she had to wait for a
Yeah.
fight. She wanted to be active and fight regularly. So now that Amanda Nunes is not keen to give her that title shot,
What does she do?
she's the one to wait around.
No.
And yeah, I was someone in Scott Coker who can promote her the right way.
Give her division.
I think the UFC dropped the ball in a lot of ways of promoting Cyborg.
Yeah.
I think Scott Coker can do wonders for her, and she can be that monster that she was known before she lost against Amanda Nunes.
Yeah, I say she resigns with Bellator, or she goes to Bellator. I'm sorry, and does damage over there.
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
she's got the champ over there, Julia Budd. I say that's a good matchup right away. Put that on, like that's a main event right there for Bellator. I think that's a good fight to put together. She's got a whole division there. She's got a promoter that's going to promote her the way she should be promoted and make the money she should make. I think there's all the
And the
pluses
respect too.
and the respect. Yeah, all the pluses are over there. Yeah, she lost to Amanda Nunes. Maybe if they do it again, she'll win. Who knows? Um, obviously, I think 5 times if those two fought, 10 out of 10 times, I say it's pretty much a split. Um, so how much did that avenge that loss really mean to her? I don't know. She hasn't lost in like 13 years, so
Not enough for her to resign.
no. And then the money and like, yeah, you're on a big stage, but you only fight once or twice a year,
If that.
if that. No one's in your division. There's nothing for her at UFC. I say she's gone. I think that's it. We've seen the last of her in the UFC for the rest of her career, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Completely
Um,
agree.
yeah, I think we'll get the answer on those two divisions and Cyborg probably before, I would say before summer. I think
Yeah.
probably by spring sometime. I say definitely before spring,
Yeah.
before the end of spring. We'll get the answer for both. Um, this weekend you have a couple of return fighters, people coming off of losses, wins. Cyborg's fighting Anthony or Aaron Hernandez. Um, and then you have Paige Van Zandt, the return of Paige Van Zandt, been off a year with forearm surgery, got married. She's fighting Rachel Ostovich, who's coming off of her own issues with domestic violence. It's almost a fight that you don't want either of them to lose. You almost wish that they're not there fighting each other, or if it was maybe it was on better circumstances for the both of them. But this is a fight, and it's happening this weekend. Is this Paige's most important fight in her career? Because she's, I think, down 2 fights in her last 3. I guess you would say.
Oh, I definitely think that. I think if you look at Paige Van Zandt's in the beginning, she was a superstar. Reebok signed her. She was the Barbie of that division
She
of
was
the
on
UFC.
Good Morning America like yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, people adored her.
Or today.
She left Team Alpha Male.
Mm-hmm.
She got married. She went on Dancing with the Stars, and she hasn't been the same. I think a lot of people have animosity towards her. I think they think that she kind of used the sport to get famous.
I mean, she did what she was supposed to do,
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that, but I think that now that Reebok didn't want to resign her and she's been on a slump for her last 2 fights or whatever, I think if she loses this fight, I think she gets cut.
You think she gets cut if she loses this fight?
Maybe not. Okay, maybe not cut, but maybe. But I think she drops down tremendously.
She's gonna have to reevaluate what she's got going. Her career.
I think she has way too many distractions in her life.
Yeah.
I think she's like one of those girls who they fall in love and like they're like gog-eyed and like they.
Yeah.
It just seems like she's so into, and which is not. It's not bad to be so into your marriage. It's great, but I think that in MMA or in fighting, if your head's not in the game, we saw what happened with Ronda Rousey. Yeah. You get burned.
Is this the best matchup that she could ask for on her return? I think so.
I mean, I think so. I still see Rachel beating her.
Surprisingly, I was thinking about it too. Me too. I thought I was gonna pick Rachel for this weekend. I was looking at the way each of them have fought, and I think Paige is great on the ground, and I think that's if she were to win, it would be the grappling portion of it, and just kind of like maybe winning some rounds in that way. Um, but Rachel's kind of starting to get like a little bit of a rhythm going, and yeah, she hasn't been the most successful, but she's shown improvements, and I think she could probably give Paige a really good fight. I don't know.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think she's gonna be the bigger girl. Obviously, I think I don't know. I see Paige as a more technical fighter, but I think that her style is a bad matchup for Rachel. I think Rachel
Yeah.
can beat her in almost every position that I
Almost.
see her in.
Yeah. I think so. I think the stand up for sure. I think the stand up Rachel has advantage. Jiu-jitsu, I think they're fairly even, but I think I'd say Paige has a little bit more in the wrestling.
But
But
she's sloppy,
yeah, but she's sloppy.
and then
Yeah.
like when she kicks, her chin's always in the air.
Yeah.
When she takes people down, her chin's always in the air.
I think
She's not a very defensive fighter.
I think all this relies more on if Rachel can, keep her wits about her, have a good game plan,
Yeah, fight smart.
stick to it, fight smart, and not get, I want to say starstruck, but at least feel that she could beat Paige and that Paige is very vulnerable, which I think she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably. I think this is a big fight for Paige. I think she's going up in weight. She's trying to reinvent herself. She's down
It's a lot of
to.
pressure. I mean, she's been out for a long time, and then her first fight back is on the ESPN card.
She's been out for a year and she's still making her media rounds. Like if she's been active, like she's on Good Morning America, promoting the fight. It's just like, she's on doing all these talk shows and podcasts.
She reminds you of Betty from Riverdale.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's a great show, by the way.
It is a great show. Although the second season, 23 episodes or 25 episodes, that's way too long for me.
Yeah.
I'm used to the Netflix 10
exactly.
to 12. I'm like, no. Okay. But yeah, I think this is a important fight for her. I see her really getting cut. I see her really dropping down in the rankings for sure. Bless you.
Thank you.
Really dropping down in the rankings and taking a hit, like with her standing in the division and in the UFC's eyes in terms of promotion. I see them pulling back a little bit, promoting her if she loses this fight.
Yeah.
And if she loses it badly.
And they already have started to by not re-signing her to Reebok.
Yeah, which is crazy. But maybe if she starts to be active, they just maybe don't want to pour money into somebody who's not guaranteed a fight. I don't know what it is. And let's see. Also, Bellator 214 is next weekend. But before that, there's another WWE, former WWE professional wrestler making his MMA debut, is Jack Swagger. Mm-hmm. Now he's been making the media rounds, at least, or getting interviewed and talking about, people asking about his pay. He's saying that people would get angry about how much he's getting paid. He's saying, trying to, getting comparisons to Brock Lesnar. He's saying he's got better hands than Brock Lesnar. I think we saw him at one of the Bellator events.
Yeah.
Big guy. What do you make of Jack Swagger? And I don't know his opponent, but his move into MMA, do you think he's got a good shot?
I think he has a better shot than CM Punk for sure. I think
is he a collegiate athlete or anything like
that?
Yeah,
he is.
Yeah, right.
But I think I think he's a lesser known out of the three former WWE superstars coming to MMA. I think he's the least known.
Like, I know the name.
Yeah.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, but everyone knows who Brock is, and everyone knows CM Punk. But not many people know who Jack Swagger is unless you follow the sport really well. I mean, follow WWE really well. I mean, I think fighting in Bellator, I think his chances are good just because he has that collegiate background.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to save him. But I think that we'll see after his first couple of fights how good he really is.
Yeah.
But I don't see him failing pretty bad. I think I see him winning his next fight, maybe the fight after. But I think in Bellator they kind of push you kind of slowly, which is good.
They do.
So I think that's going to be a benefit for him.
Yeah, they do a really good job of building up their stars. Obviously, like back when Bellator, Scott Coker barely took over, a lot of guys were barely on the up and coming, and now a lot of them are their biggest stars that they have. So they did a really good job of building talent and using like older big names that obviously people in the media and fans would make fun of them using the big older names to promote their fights when they're a lot of those guys were obviously out of their primes. But now that they have like a bunch of young stars like Aaron Pico, AJ McKee, and stuff like that, the Pitbull brothers and Chandler, they re-signed Chandler and all that.
Is he a heavyweight fighter?
I think he's a heavyweight fighter.
Oh, then his chances are good.
I think their chances are pretty good. He'll fight like Chet Congo, and obviously you got like Frank Mir, and you have Javier, and you have a bunch of guys, Fedor,
Matt Mitrione.
So you got a lot of good matchups. I don't know how far he's going to get or how high he will go, but just based on his name, he probably gets some good matchups.
Yeah,
some
for
tough
sure.
matchups. Yeah, I don't know that much of it. Even his professional WWE career, I don't know that whole lot. I just know of the guy. But I think he'll do pretty well. He's not out there boasting that he's in a, he's not making. I think he learned from the CM Punk, experiment where CM Punk went out there, did a bunch of media, did a bunch of interviews, made it like
There's a documentary that came out too.
Yeah, documentary announcements.
That was too much.
And it just did not go well. It'd be first time and that second time. I think Jack Swagger probably end up having a pretty decent career. I don't know. That's me just basing it off what I've gathered from him up to now, and what I know I know of him.
And considering too that the Bellator heavyweight division is very shallow.
Yeah, and that he actually has like athletic background. Yeah. And he's a big guy. It's heavyweight division. He could probably do some damage.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how he'll do. I think he'll do pretty well. I think the more big names that Bellator could get, the more eyes they can get. I think it's a good deal. I think it's
I agree.
Looking forward to it.
I agree.
But there's a lot before we get into the fight picks. There's a bunch of matchups that got made. I don't know how you feel about them. Gunnar Nelson versus Leon Edwards got made. That is, I forgot when that is. I think it's in the London card, the same as another fight that got made on that card is Darren Till and Jorge Masvidal. Those two are both official.
Oh man, that Darren Till fight. Oh my god, I feel bad for Darren Till. I think he's gonna lose this fight
against Masvidal.
Yeah,
I'm a Masvidal fan. I just like watching the guy fight. I like his attitude, everything. I don't know how he will do in this fight. Him at welterweight, I think he's a little undersized. And if you get a guy who's like really technical, or that he ends up having some problems. If a guy isn't willing to exchange with him, he can end up having a really bad fight or boring fight.
Yeah, Darren Till, he's great on his feet. He has great head movement. I think
a big guy.
I think Masvidal. I think his biggest flaw is he's very flat-footed.
Yeah, and he doesn't. He's too complacent in fights. Like he'll like, if he's down, he doesn't really change things up a whole lot. You know what I mean? Like it's just like you want him to, and like come on, do something, do this, do that, and he kind of just doesn't.
Yeah.
So it's like if he finds himself in a bad situation.
Is this fight on middleweight?
Welterweight.
Oh, okay.
Which Masvidal is normally a 155er, and he's been fighting at welterweight, and he's had some pretty decent success.
He's a tall guy too.
He's a big guy. He's a guy who's saying that after this fight, I think he's going to go up to middleweight.
He should. I didn't know how he makes 170.
So it's like, I like this fight. I think it's stylistically, that's a great matchup, and I think they're both like somewhat on similar. Like they're not too far away in the rankings. Although size, I think, is going to play a factor when it comes to strikers like this. Like I don't see either one of them knocking each other out really. So if neither one of them are really going to knock each other out, who's got better chances of scoring points and causing more damage? I don't. It's a toss-up fight. It really is. But I say size plays a factor. I say Darren Till probably takes it. I don't know. I don't. We'll see. But I
Yeah.
thought that was a interesting matchup. I don't know how I feel about that for Masvidal. I know both of them have been struggling to get fights, but especially Masvidal for some reason he struggles to get fights. Another one is Justin Gaethje takes on Edson Barboza in Philly. Forgot when that fight is, um, but that's a great matchup.
Barboza and who?
And Justin Gaethje.
Oh yeah. Oh, I see Barboza
He stays on the
killing,
outside. I
killing.
think he has a very good chance of just staying on the outside.
Yeah, Gaethje's just too.
But Gaethje goes in and he presses,
He presses.
and he has a good chance of putting
Yeah,
Barboza on his back
that's
foot.
true. But once you give Barboza the space to
Yeah.
like plant his feet and go for those kicks, I don't know how many of those kicks Gaethje can take.
Yeah, I would go with Barboza in this fight.
Yeah,
If
me
Gaethje
too.
can't get him down, and Gaethje's not necessarily a shooter, he's more of like how Randy Couture would be, where he would just like grab you and try to like a Greco-Roman type,
Yeah.
like I don't know, just grab you and take you down that way. If he can't get a good hold on you, Barboza's a slippery guy, and he'll get out and land a spinning back kick on you.
Yeah, that's true.
I like Barboza in this fight.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and Gaethje likes to get hit. We'll see how that goes. But those are a couple of matchups that got made. But let's break down this card for this weekend. UFC Brooklyn, first fight on ESPN 1. It's on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Cejudo versus Dillashaw for the flyweight title. Dillashaw moving down in weight. Looks decent. He doesn't look too drawn out. He seems in good spirits.
Yeah.
Not too bad. I mean, I thought it was going to be worse, but we'll see how it comes fight night. If he or even weigh-ins if he makes the fight. Let's see. Do you want to go on any of these undercards? Let's go with the prelims.
Okay.
The co-main and main event of the prelims. Joanne Calderwood versus Ariane Lipski.
Calderwood.
I've been talking about Ariane Lipski for a little while.
You have. Calderwood's been. I think she's now dating her coach.
Is she?
Yeah,
she's a cutie, man.
I know. I got that coach, and like, I often wonder, like, are these guys taking advantage of their students? Like,
I mean,
like, oh,
I wouldn't doubt it. You work that closely with people.
Yeah, but they're dating, so they're both madly in love with each other.
Did I see her?
He probably bangs one out.
I think I saw her at the Institute, because obviously I still have like friends over there, like Christian and all them. So I went to go visit, and I believe she was there. She looked okay. Not like she's not a knockout.
So she looks better on television.
I mean, she wasn't like dolled up or anything like that. She was kind of like probably just got out of her room, just changing. She had like a hoodie on, type of thing. Not the greatest.
Yeah, she's dating her coach.
So I could listen to her talk all day. I don't know.
I know her voice.
It's just I don't know what it is. I
was wondering to wear like pigtails and like a schoolgirl shit and just keep talking to me. Yeah. But yeah, for the fight, I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with the girl Ipsy, man.
Lipski.
Lipski.
It's a weird last name for a Brazilian. I don't know. I got to go with Ariana Lipski. I've been waiting. We've been trying to get her on the show. We've been in contact with her, but she doesn't speak English, which is the big drawback. And
we need to go to school for Portuguese. So
never
happened.
I know. And she talked about trying to get a translator. Nothing ever came through. So yeah, but she's fighting this weekend, and she's very attractive. She's a former KSW champ. KSW is a Polish promotion. They do put on some big, gigantic fights over there in a KSW. If you haven't seen them, subscribe to their YouTube channel, and they put all their fights up like within the week or whatever, and they do big like stadiums. They did like it's all mostly like Russian, Polish fighters and former UFC guys. A lot of the Russian guys are on there, but they have some juicers over there. They have some big boys over there just throwing leather, and it's
pissing chemicals.
Yeah, and they put on a good show. I haven't watched the full card of theirs, but I watched a lot of their fights. Their YouTube channel is pretty good. So I first saw her on there, and Ariane Lipski is a killer, man. She's got like cyborg Amanda Nunes style striking, where it's just like it's just textbook, and she's vicious. So we'll see how she does against obviously Calderwood's on a roll right now. She's won her last two, and she's very technical.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. But I'll go with Ariane. Don Cerrone versus Alexander Hernandez. This is a tough one for Cerrone. I don't know how
I'm gonna go Hernandez.
I'm gonna go Hernandez too. Hernandez is just like a beast, man. Even when he fought Benil Dariush, like even before the bell rang, I was like, "There's no way Dariush is winning this fight." Alex Hernandez, I'm sorry, is just he's a technical, strong, athletic, young guy, and just vicious, man. Like he's just So I think the only way Cerrone can win is if he's able to avoid any of the big shots and what's it called? Experience comes into play. If he big times him a little bit, he might actually pull this one out. You got Carl Robertson versus Glover Teixeira. Now I don't know a whole lot about Carl Robertson.
Me neither.
But I've heard really good things about him, and I do know Glover Teixeira, and he has not looked great. I think he's at that point where he could probably hang it up.
Yeah, he should.
I'm probably gonna go with Carl Robertson in this fight. I don't
Me
know.
too.
I've seen the guy. I've seen images. I've seen like stills. I haven't seen him. Can't recall a fight of him.
Yeah.
His. So, I'll go Carl Robertson. Rachel Ostovich versus Paige Van Zandt. I think we just talked about this one. We were both going with Rachel on this one. Probably by decision. I'd probably say. Joseph Benavidez versus Dustin Ortiz. I think this is a rematch for these two. Probably, I think Benavidez won the last one. I'm not sure.
I'll go Benavidez.
You go Benavidez. I say Benavidez. I say he pulls it out. I know he's really pulling for the division to stay around. So, Gregor Gillespie versus Yancy Medeiros. I've heard really good things about Gillespie.
He's
supposed to be a good wrestler. Yeah, Yancy. I'll go with the wrestler, Gillespie. Maybe he'll probably grind him out.
Yeah.
I know Yancy. That's not Yancy's strongest suit, so I'll say I'll go right there. Alan Crowder versus Greg Hardy. You all know Greg Hardy. There's been a lot of talk about Greg Hardy.
I hate to go
co-main event. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't want to pick the guy, but I'm gonna pick him.
I think I might pick him too. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I have no idea. I mean, he's a ferocious big guy, but he's very green. I will say. Co-main event, no way. He should not be in the co-main event. Henry Cejudo versus TJ Dillashaw.
I'm going with Cejudo.
You're going with Cejudo?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. To me, it's like for technique, I'd probably go with Dillashaw. But how well that's going to carry down in weight, I don't know. I say Cejudo's, I say his power, his strength, his wrestling,
and he's fought in that division forever.
Yeah, that's his division.
I mean, for a fighter to drop down for the first time and fight in a 5-round fight, it's gonna hold. It's gonna catch up to him.
Yeah, I think a lot of the benefits are in Cejudo's corner, but I still might go with Dillashaw just based on technique. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. But that's it. That's our show for the week. Until then, go to MMAComplex.com. Get the shirts. Get everything. Get everything for the MMA Complex.
And be sure to pick up your Internight beer. It's available everywhere.
Really good.
Check it out. You can follow us on social media. You can follow me on Twitter, MMA Complex James. You can follow him, MMA Complex Josh. You can follow the show. Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all under one name, the MMA Complex. Very, very excited for the ESPN card. ESPN finally covering our sport. I'm excited to see how things are going to come with the sport and with ESPN. So very excited for that. Next week we'll talk about the fights, break it all down with all the news of the week. So until then, enjoy your week and enjoy the fights.